we're going to be, this is our dashboard. That is what the dashboard is supposed to look like at the end. So we're going to come here and we want to create a site capacity chart. And this is just so that that map, anybody that is looking at it will be able to determine or see what the colors on those maps mean exactly. So to do this, we're going to need 2 placeholders. We're going to use 0 and we're going to use 1.2. And you see why we're doing that soon. So what we want to do is so let me do a dual axis first. And as usual, you do a synchronized axis. All right. Now, you see where this 1.2 is, right? And you see where the 0. So the 1.2 is going to be a text. And in here, once they can measure names, you don't need the column. And the text is going to be a label. So I've already created the calculation. I'll just show it to you here. And what we're saying is we want a text of it. So we want to just explain what's happening. It's the exact same calculation. I just duplicated it and changed the text. So rather than it showing low, mid, high, now it's explaining exactly what's happening. So we'll see minus 20 megawatts. Sorry, what am I saying? We'll see less than 20 megawatts if it's less than 20. If it's greater than 36, so we say greater than or equal to 36. If it's in the middle, if it's a mid-level capacity, we'll say greater than 20, but less than 36, or less than. So press apply, and then we'll bring this to the text here. So you can see it's here. One thing we can do is just hide this show header. Yes, so let's do that. We've done that. And you can see it here. We can increase the size of our circle. Now this circle is going to contain this measure name. And this circle is going to reflect the color of the legend. So if you see color, location, capacity, you can bring it in here, right? And you can see we're getting to where we need to be, right? A perfect explanation of what's happening on that dashboard. Another thing we can do is put in a number that will signify the number of locations that fall under that category. And we can do that by putting location site in the label. And yes, it's going to give us one nonsense like this. Nothing is happening. We're going to count these things actually. And you can see 7, 20, 68. So the medium is actually the punch that should be here. And just arrange it, sorry. I need to arrange it. So low, mid, high. Now, this lines, we need to get rid of the lines. So let's get rid of all these lines. None, none, everything none, none. We want absolutely nothing. Also get rid of the border. If you can see, there's a border here. Remove that level, none, none. And wow, come back to the dashboard. You can see it. So still need to adjust the size of the circle a little bit, reduce it. All right. Yes, this looks fine. So let's set the sizes. So for this, I want the size for this to be, let's edit the width. I think around 625 should be fine. Does that fit? We might still need to reduce the size of that circle. So let's go back in and reduce the size of the circle again. Yes, this text is a bit too big. So let's make it maybe 10. That's fine. All right. We come in here again. I don't think we set the size earlier. We can edit the width and make it 650 also. All right. Is this still 650? No. Okay, that won't work. So let's do 600, 600. Edit width. Let's say, yeah, 600. All right. Let's do this also. 600. All right. So now if we want to talk about this, we can just right click on this. Let's change the format for this. And I believe this should be a worksheet. No, it's a default text. So it's going to be different. And we can still use our usual tributary. Yes, that works. Maybe we say 7, 8. Yes. So this works, and that's fine. You can see this line is getting in the way. Let's format this. What we're going to say is, no, don't fill below. Let's reduce the shading. Yes. So this. Also, one more thing we need to do is remove the decimal. We don't, oh no, we need that. Actually, we need that. We make it a percentage, yes, 100%. And so anybody that sees it can know, oh, this is 100%. We can still edit it again and change. So we're using tributary. Let's be consistent with that. Let's just use like 7 so it doesn't get in the way. So come back. Yes, it's no longer getting in the way of the dashboard. We'll deal with all these tooltips as we go on. So now, as we don't need this here, right? So now let's work on this. Sorry, you can see some white lines here, right? So can you see some white lines? This should be as a result of padding. So let's take out the padding. That's why we always remove paddings. Good. So remember, we've already done this. That changes the map, changes the location selected based on what we select in the map. And if you notice, this does not affect any of this. Why? Because we said this is an all-site overview. You can just remove that overview, please. Just put all sites, right? Person should understand that's all sites, right? Yes. So we've done that, done this. So whenever we click on this, it's not going to affect any of this because we didn't put it in the calculation that if it's equals to location site, location parameter, we didn't put it in the filters or anything. So it will not be affected by this. The only thing we want to be affected by this is everything that will be here. And so I'm going to show you what the dashboard should actually look like. So this is what the floating should look like. So we're going to do total output. I've already built this before. Total output will then compare, see it's no wood array selected. Then we're going to do output per day. So let's do that. Let's do this first. Let's come back to our one we're building and let's do total output. Once again, I have already typed these calculations out. So I'm just going to show them. I hid them at first. And this is it. Power output. I'll open it up on hide. Let's show that. Power output current month. So this is saying that if the location site name, now you remember, if we don't put this in, then it won't be affected by the map. Remember, the map changes the parameter, but for the parameter to work, it needs to be in a calculated field, right? So we need to say that if the location site name is equals to the location site name parameter, and the month is equal to the month, so we're looking at those two parameters, we're connecting it here, then give me the power. This is the power in our actuals sheets. And then we're going to put a sum there, because we're always going to use sum. So it says, shows total capacity power of, why is my English so bad? Of the selected location in the parameter, and also filters to the selected. So we press OK. And we're going to do the same thing in the previous month, but there's only going to be one change. So this time around, it's going to be month. It's not going to be month parameter is equals to month. It's going to be month parameter is equals to month minus 1. So the month of the date minus 1. Remember, the month gives us an integer. So if it gives us maybe August, if we selected August in the parameter, it should be 7 minus 1, that's 6, right? Also, location site name is equals to location site name parameter. We press OK. So let's bring this in, put it in as a text, put it in as a text. Put this in entire view so we see everything. Now, let's do some formatting. So we're going to use tributary, like I said, we're always going to use tributary for 14. However, this 14 is going to apply to this. For this, we want it to be maybe like 10. It's not going to attract so much attention. I decide we can just use previous months for reference. We can also reduce, the color. We don't want it to be too black, so it doesn't fight for attention with this one. So let's press apply, see how it looks like. Alignment, left, middle, right? So yes, this looks fine. Now we can always test this. Let's bring our testing sheet here. So let's test if that's actually what is happening. So you can say, we can bring this filter here, which is selected month equals true. You can also bring this location equals true, right? And then we can show month. I'm just showing you normally, you must always test every single thing that is on your dashboard, right? So this February, actually, we don't want selected months because we want to see all the months. And then we put in power in the text. So 1 month is selected in our parameter. It's February. February is 21,276. Let's see if that's correct. No. Let me see. Show parameter. February should be, oh. We mixed it up. So you see, this is why you always test. We mixed it up. So when we come to our text, this is previous month. We're supposed to exchange this. So in here, we'll put in current month, and in here, we'll put in previous month. And I think that should be fine. Yes. All right, let's see. February is 21. And now what we are saying is 31,590. It's showing us for March instead of January. So you can see that there's an issue there. This is why you must always test everything you do. So let's come back here. And I know the issue we have. So we're saying month parameter is equals to month minus 1. So it's looking at the previous month. It's supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to be month parameter minus 1 is equals to month. So we're supposed to say, if we're in February, show me when it is January in our parameter, and the January is equals to the month. So I believe this should change when we click on apply. And you can see it has changed. So now it's showing us what is January, so 14. This is why you must always test. So let's rename this to power output current month selected site. And we can just put in text. You can name it as long as you want. Nobody is going to beat you for naming it too long. Name it in a way that you'll be able to explain. So now, the second thing we need to do is put in a way to identify it, right? And what we want to do, if we come here to what we're trying to build, we want it to be colored based on if it's rare, bad, or if it's good. So maybe something like match, right? You can see it's good. So for us to do that, we're going to need to create 2 different calculations. So I'm just going to come in here because of time and copy those calculations, which is output difference. So let's copy this. Copy. I'll explain why what they're saying. It's already here, but I don't want to use this. Let me delete this and click on paste. So give us another month. Another parameter. Let's delete this. So let's open this up and show you exactly what I'm saying. So to get percentage difference, you always do current month right? Versus previous month divided by previous month. So now what this is saying is, sorry, let me put this quickly. Copy, just replace it here. We're trying to differentiate. So if it's minus, then I want it to be different. And if it's plus, I want it to be different. So I'm saying that if this calculation is less than 0, which is minus, then just give me the answer, right? And I'm going to repeat it again. So copy this. We'll come here to this. You can see it's output difference minus, right? Then we'll come here again. And what do you think the difference would be this time around? It's going to be greater. If it's greater than 0, give me this. They will always give you the same answer, but we're separating it. And now this is what we're going to do. Put them in text. What one did we just put? We put the plus and now we'll put in the minus. So for us to show it that way, we need to put them side by side, right? So if it's positive, then the negative won't show. If it's negative, then the positive will also not show. And now we can color them. Remove the space, but let's color them. So if it's negative, we want it to be red. Let's find red. Have red pre-saved here already. And if it's positive, I want it to be, this blue. Right? We press apply, and you can see because it's positive, it's showing blue. However, if it is negative, maybe September or something, it's see that it's showing red. So we have a problem with space here, so just create space here and click on apply and press OK. So our first of the floating container is both ends. So now we're going to create let's go back. My brain is failing. And this we're going to create daily outputs, right? So let's come back here and we're going to drag in, since it's for the selected month, we're going to use this calculation. Power output, selected month, selected site. Remember, it must be the selected month and the selected site. If not, the map will not be affected by it. So we come in here, drag it here, and you see nothing is really happening. Oh, wait, actually, I was wrong. And let me tell you why I was wrong. Okay, no, I was not wrong. My brain is failing me, sorry. So let's come in here and we're going to put day. Yes, I wasn't wrong. So saying there's a day missing, why? Let's look at our months parameter. One null value. Who's on the 31st? Oh, we didn't have any record for the 31st in September. That's fine. You can always right click on this and hide indicator. We don't want a line. Line just looks ugly. So let's use an area chart. And let's color the area chart, something like this. Normally, an area chart is always like at 60%. Let's take out the border opacity. Let's take out these ugly looking lines. Line, none, none, right? None, axis state, none, none. Even when it's on none, not automatically, just click and press none again. All right, so we're not going to show this. And what we want to do, okay, let's just show that. We want to just identify the minimum and the maximum. So how do we do that? Well, we want to compare the current value, which is the sum of the power, right? The current power value, right? Versus the maximum. And if it's equal to the maximum, then we want it to be colored. So let's do that. Min, max, edit, right? So let's come back in here and just get the calculation automatically so that we don't need to type it out. Let's say edit or copy. right? Now we're going to name it better here. So min, max, color. So what we're going to say is, zooming in, if our power output of the selected month, selected site, and we're going to take out the sum because it's already aggregated, is equals to our power output selected site sum again, like the Windows Max this time around. Now, the reason why we're not using is a Windows function must always have an aggregation within it. Now, the reason why we're not using sum like it was, that it is here, is because this is already aggregated to sum. If you go back to it, you see that we already automatically put sum. So you can see that's why it's showing aggregated. So it's going to work. If it wasn't aggregated, it will require me to put in a sum, right? So let's just copy this again, paste here, and we'll just change one thing. Instead of Windows Max, we use Windows Mint. So what it's looking at is the overall data, data set, the overall window. It puts everything in a window. What is the maximum in that overall window? And does it match the maximum here? So this is like our overall window, this chart. And it's going to identify the maximum and check each individual point and see if that point is equal to the maximum. If it is, then it will give us the max. If it's not, it will say other. Then it will also check again, each individual point, is it equal to the minimum, like the overall Windows minimum when we look at it? If it is, then it will give us min, else it will give us other. And then we press apply, okay. And see, when we come here, we go to color. Oh, no. Before we do that, we need to duplicate this. And what we want is, we want to have a circle, an identifying circle. So let's put that in circle. And like we always do a dual axis, right? And we must always synchronize the axis. So I'll show you what synchronization does. When I click on synchronization, some of the things will adjust. So always make sure you synchronize. Let's uncheck the show header again, right? So now in this circle is what we want to color this. So you can see it's coloring the main, the max, the main, and the other. So first of all, we want other to be the same color as this. So we can just say pick screen color. So it's not noticeable. We can say we want the max to be, blue. And we want the minimum to be red, right? You can click on this. And you see this are blue. We'll change this color of blue. We don't like that. Let's use this one. Yes. These are blue. However, can you see all these things here? It's just a distraction. So I'm going to show you typically how we get that out. So let's bring this min max color and let's drag it here, right? And you can see there's max, there's min, there's order. So right click on order and say hide. And now when you do that, open up this tab for your second one, the one that is circle, and then just put it in a detail and it will remove those ones. So we're just only seeing the minimum, the maximum, and the minimum. So let's hide this again. And in here, say show label, min max, show label. You see it's looking at the entire table. To look at the entire table, don't allow to overlap. So put it at the middle, at the top. Our label should be, maybe trebuchet again, but at a lower font size, maybe 6. That looks too low. So, right? And we're done with this. Let's right click, hide field labels. And we want to keep this actually, it's just so anybody that's looking at it would know the dates that are being selected. And what we can do is actually just make it area. I like to use area for my axis. Just use area and put like area 5, right? It's there, but it's also not there. And reduce the color if you want, the darkness a little bit. Now we're seeing some ugly borders here, so let's get rid of that. None and none. Okay, let's name this power outputs by day, and we'll put this in this is an aerial chart. Yes. So let's get this in. First thing we want to do is put in an horizontal. It has to be floating first. Just use everything floating and then we'll put it later in a standing. Remember, this is a blank that's just keeping the space. We'll replace it later. So let's put in power outputs here. And let's put in our, what was that? Put this at the side. Why is it taking so much space? We can just edit this. So now we can name this power output, total power output. But now we don't want to just put it in there. We can say, put in the parameter name and we can edit it. So remember, we're going to be using Tableau semi-bold for our subtitles and we're going to be putting 10. But for this, we can say, let's use 8, just so it doesn't take too much out of it. We press OK. Still taking too much space. So we can use maybe 7, right? Yes. All right. And for this, what we're actually going to do is edit this title and make this daily outputs. Remember Tableau semi-bold, and we're going to be using 10, right? Apply. So let's get rid of this color, which is white. Now, what is this? You might need to increase the width. Okay, good. I think there's also a color here. So let's just get it out. Now we can still get rid of this if we want. No, it's still, since we put daily output here, right? There's no need for us to keep this. Like we said, everything is going to be edited anyways. Let's increase the size of the circle. At the end, we're just going to fix everything in. So that looks fine. If there's any changes to be made later on, make this. So let's go to the second thing that we need to put in our floating container, and it's going to be peak hours. And it's going to be showing you what month is selected and also what site is selected. So let's do this, peak hours, non-peak hour, and then we're going to be showing this. So how do we do that? Let's first of all create a dashboard. And now it's a peak versus non-peak hours. And once again, you can always put what kind of chart it is, and we're saying text. Right, so how do we determine when something falls into a peak hour? Now, if we come back here, you see our utilization rates, right? Which I talked about how important it was for us to put a utilization rate, because it shows us how that particular location is performing in reference to its capacity. So now we want to say when the utilization rate is at 100%, that means it's at its peak. However, if it's not, then it's below its peak. So let's come here and get the calculation so we don't need to start scratching our head about it. So let's come here. Remember, I already did this so that we don't waste time with calculations, right? I will explain it. I just need to copy it. That's why I built it beforehand. Okay. Let's come back to our sheet here, our Okay. And let's create a new calculated field. See. All right, I already have it here, sorry. So follow peak hours. And we're saying fixed on hour. Now, the reason why we're using a fixed is so that it knows that this is the only type of aggregation it's going to be using when it's calculating this. If we don't use this fixed, and let's say we put it back in without this, we must now put hours somewhere in this worksheet, maybe as a detail, as a color, as a column or a row. We must put the date part hour in the worksheet for it to now interpret it. If not, it will calculate it as a whole, and you will not be getting your answers there, right? So this is it. So when I put this in, I put it in a text, right? You can now see non-peak hour, peak hour. But let me show you what happens when I remove this. If I say, I'm not going to fix this, I say apply. First of all, I need to replace it. So let me replace it. Text. And you see it's only showing peak hour. Why? Because the thing does not know what to calculate it based on. So it's just calculating the entire dashboard. And obviously the entire dashboard is going to be above 100% as a utilization rate. You know what, 142% or something. So now the only time this will work is when we now put this in and we say hour. And then when I say not pick out ahead, we don't want that. So that's why we must always, for this calculation, use a fixed. So when we use a fixed, we know that it's always going to calculate based on the hour of the date. So where is our calculation? Color peak hours. Now let's put this here in rows. And then we're going to say our power output selected month in text. Remember, we must use this power output selected month because we want it to be controlled by the map and also be controlled by the months. So we can see our peak hour is 29. We can just switch it around. And let's make this entire view. Hide this check show header. I also put this, excuse me, in color, right? Now, this is the color we're using. The color we're using, we got it from Chimdi's book. It's trying to load. Where is it? I believe I showed you at the beginning. So it's loading. When it loads, I'll show you. All right. I think we're, yes. It's loading, yes. So this is it. This one. This is the one we're using. All right, let's go back. I already took the code and put it in already. The X code of it. So alignment is going to be left, middle. Always put this because one day it might just decide to turn. And let's put our text as usual as Trebuchet 14. Oh, apply. Yes. All right, now let's format this again. Get rid of the worksheet color, get rid of this second color here, and row banding, we don't want that. Also want to say no lines, no lines, no lines, and finally, no borders. All right. So it's a peak hour, non-peak hour. Now let's do the bars. We're going to say peak hour bars. Yes. And we're going to put in date in column, select hour, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And right click on this format and say we want to be 12 hours. So it's telling us 12 a.m., 1 a.m., so on. And now what we want to put is the power output selected month, selected site. Remember, I'm always going to say it, bars now. You can see it's kind of like evenly distributed, right? Our peak hours, which is what we expect, is around the afternoon time. So it's around, let me see, 11, 12. This is when we have our highest, right? But depending on the sites, the utilization rates could also be above 100% at that point. So what we're going to do is follow our peak hours here. Yes. Let's put this in entire view, please. Now, to format this, it's going to be area 5. Reduce this a bit. Alignment, straight, middle center. And please, direction should be straight. Yes, we're good to go. Right? You can also label, come in here, click on show mark labels, and we can say minimum, maximum. This time around, just show the maximum value. Set the alignment, middle, center. No. Middle top, what am I saying? Direction should be, see, automatic, straight. Why is this not responding? So let's see, format. Can come in here. Let's see, label. Yes, we can just, why is it not? Aha. Sorry, sometimes you just need to click on the rest so that the thing knows that you are pressing it. All right. We don't have any borders, so let's just get rid of the grid lines. None. Uncheck show header. Then change this to usual tributary. I believe it's 7 views the last time, right? Yes. Then just put it as black so it's not automatic. Good. So we've made done with this. We'll put in another horizontal dash container to make this longer. And let's put in our text first. Right, this next. As usual, we'll sort out what it's supposed to look like. Rather than me changing this every time, just come in here and copy this, right? Paste, we'll just say peak hours in, and now we can insert a parameter, which is month, and this is fine. Come in here again. And for this, I don't think we need, let's uncheck this. I don't think we need this title. It's self-explanatory, I believe, right? Let's see. Yes, it's self-explanatory. We don't need this. Okay, so the second one is done. And what is the third one? The third one is actuals versus day ahead forecast. Now, at the beginning of this session, I told you that we're supposed to join our data sets based on 2 different things, but I said I wasn't going to tell you the second one yet, just to save time, right? I wasn't going to tell you what it was yet. And we're going to see why. So let's come in here, let's come back, sort this the size out later. Let's create this. And what we want to do is, I've already created this, so let me just unhide, hide actual output. And the actual output is if the location site name is equal to location parameter is equal to location site name, just give me the power output, right? And then forecasted output is if the location site name is equal to, sorry, ignore this, is equal to location site name parameter, then give me power for the day ahead forecast, right? Just want to sort this out so that it's connected to the location site name. So I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put forecasted output here too. Then I'm going to put dates. Now we want this to be an overall of the year actually. So let's just use week number. And what we're saying is, okay, let me see, let's use one that has, there are some locations that don't have a forecast. So let's use one that has a forecast. And you can see it's just a straight line. This is because we're using the date here, the date for the actuals, and not the date for the day ahead forecast. And because we did not connect and say, oh, these two are also related based on date, because we didn't do that, it cannot react. Now we can add it manually in the calculated field, which is what you saw me delete then. But what we're going to do is come back to this data source and then add that relationship. So you can do that here, click on this line, add one more, and we say date is equals to date. And then we can come back here, give it a second to load. It's preparing. Please don't take our time. Prepare it fast, don't hang. Yes, okay. Press. And you can see it's worked. Right? So you see the importance of relationships when you are adding two different sheets. So we'll do dual axis. You can also do our dual axis by right-clicking here, clicking, but you must always click on the second one. So you do dual axis and synchronize. So when we synchronize, you can see actual output is here, and this forecasted out. So we're doing, better than expected. So what colors do we use? We're going to use this purple that we saw. Yeah, actually, this one doesn't look too bad, this red. But because we've already used red and green, it might cause confusion. So we're going to use this. Let's copy code, come back in and change this actual output. Use this. Click on apply, and for this, we want it to be gray, but maybe like a darker gray, right? Use this. Good. Let's uncheck show header. Check show header. Format. None. And get rid of everything, every sort of coloring, and go it. So get rid of our border as usual. And finally, grid lines. No lines, no lines, no. Let's name this sheet as, what are we doing? Actual versus forecast. And we're going to say this is a line chart. I'll just say line, please. All right, so now let's just duplicate this to not waste time. Shift it here. And we can say, now we want to do actuals versus forecast. This time around, it's going to be text. I can't spell forecast. All right, good. And we're just going to get rid of this here. Our text is going to be this actual text, forecast text. Remove this color, we don't want that. So you can see it here. You can put the settings, which is Trebuchet 14, space it out. You can also color it. So our actual was colored this. Forecast was colored this, I believe. No, I don't think so. Our forecast was colored slightly gray. You can always change it. Yeah, I think it was something like this. Good. Now, we can always just put MW here. No. Put MW here. MW here. I showed you the alternative method earlier and just putting it in the, since putting it in the number format, but since we're only going to use this once, there's no need. Let's put this in and you can see the actual versus the forecast. So now we're going to the end of the dashboard. All that's left is some finishing touches. And now we're going to put it in a horizontal container. Actual, is this a text? Yes. Sales forecast, yes. All right. We don't need the title for this. Hide title. Let's shift it here first. And this should be actual versus forecast. Actual versus day ahead forecast. Now we'll use this to just be a legend. So this is going to be, this is going to be gray. So let's just use this. All right. Good, 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 good. So now let's sort out the size, right? I want to check the size I used in this. I believe the size I used there was 575. So let's come back in here and let's put in a vertical container. Remember, it's going to be arranged up and down. So let's come here and just put a vertical container. No, 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 we don't want it there. Let's just put a floating vertical container, right? And let's start putting this in vertical container. So this is our first one here, put it in. Our second vertical container, put it here. You can see where it's showing you is putting it. You leave it, put it there. And bring this here. So I think there's a color here that we did not remove. So let's quickly format that. Yes. And finally, let's bring this in. Okay. We don't want week of dates, people. So let's get rid of this. I'll check show here. So believe this was 575, right? Layout, let's make this 575. Okay. So now let's put this in. We're going to have to put this in anyways. I don't know why I was doing that first. So let's put this in. I have it, I'm holding shift to put it in. So I want to put it here and leave, yes. Let's get rid of this blank that was just holding the space earlier. Now we can adjust this, the width how we want. Edit width and make it 575. Good, 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 good. Now it seems like this is squeezed, right? Oh, yes. So you can see that it's only showing. So let's come back in here. And what we want to do is, if we see here, there are some places that don't even have any sort of, output at all. By 7 p.m., there's almost no sun, so no output. Same thing from 12 to 6 a.m. Okay, we have at 6 a.m. So let's come in here and we'll say filter. I want to do is just, as long as it's greater than 0, show me. But if it's not greater than 0, don't show me. So you can see we're seeing 6 a.m., 8 p.m. when they had like minimum, right? This is when the sun starts to come up. We have 1, we have 7, right? And we can also just put in the tooltip the utilization rate, just so you know things are working well. Let's just insert it. We'll also, all right, it's in here. So you can see utilization rate is 230, but here is 90, and here is at 14%. So you can see the calculation actually works quite well. Let's reduce the size a bit. And let's come back here. Yes, now. Okay, good. All right, what else do we need to do? Yes, so each container is 210. So if you see here, we're seeing some line dividers, right? So let's just come in here and copy. I think we should be able to paste. If we're not able to paste, then we're in trouble, or we're able to paste. So this is just a blank, right? Let's rename this. Rename this, and we say line divider 1. Okay, so we had some slight connection issues and I kept on going. So I'm just going to try and go back to things I probably that did not show at first. So if I repeat some things, just make sure I'm just trying to confirm, don't be alarmed. So we stopped at I believe we stopped at dividers, right? So this is how we typically make dividers. Just going to show you, but I'm going to copy and paste. So you get in a floating blank, right? You add a background, maybe something like this. You also add width, the one, right? So what's the width of this? Yes, so we have this. It's very hard to select. So let's add like maybe 4x4 pattern. And we keep it here. We have, okay, sorry. Yes. So once we insert it, you need to adjust the width again. Leave the width to 1. So to tell you this, right? So you need to come back, take the patterns out, and then try again to edit the width to 1. And you should have yourself a line divider. All right, so I'm just going to already copied and pasted. So I just impute this here, copy, paste again, impute this here, paste again. Somewhere we can put this here, and one more, and put this here. Okay, so now we need to edit the width. So I believe we're going to be using, let's see, what's this? We're supposed to be using about 211. So let's come in here and fix the height and edit the height to 211. I'm just going to do the same to these here, edit height to 1. You can see he's showing this, so it's fixed. We do the same thing here, edit height to 1. Okay, now we can see we have some space at the bottom here. So what we can do is just come in here, maybe copy this kind of blank, paste and just put it here. So it gives us the, no, we're not going to fix this height. Good. And we're going to take the outer patterns off. And it just gives us the illusion of this is floating, right? And that's what we want. So this size is 215. Just confirm all the sizes are the same, 215, 215. And there's a 2x2x2 padding on everything here, and 4x4x4 padding. So let's just do some minor cleanups. We're done with the dashboard. Just maybe reduce the size of this. Reduce the size of this. Just looks better when it's thinner. Yeah, I don't want this here. I want the map to be closer to this. I want the map to kind of have like this full space. So what I'm going to do actually is put this in here. Why did I not move? Let's put it here. Okay, let's make it float first. Let's make this float. Good. And then put this here, bottom, maybe start shifting it. So there always seems to be a problem when you try and shift this in. Okay, see, good, yes. So let's ensure everything is still the same size. 215, 211, 215, 211, 215, 211, good. And it seems like these dividers are not the same. So let's see what's happening. Come in here. Let's see, this blank. Let's see, what we want is this. So this blank. Yes, we need to put a padding on this blank. I believe 4x4. Let's see. Same thing here. And same thing here. I think they should all be on the same line. Now, yes, they are. Okay, so let's take out the padding here. We don't want it. We want it, like I said, we want to have the illusion that this is floating. So this gives us that illusion. Okay. Then let's add this. So we just say, want to add the selected month. So we say month, and we know since it's only 1 year, we just put 2020 in the text. We can also reduce it to maybe 14 and add some left padding to this. I don't want it too close. So maybe like 15. No, let's not add the padding. That does not. Okay. Let's see if we can just give it some space in here. Okay, that works. Okay. Some finishing touches here also, we can reduce the size of these circles. They're a little too big. All right, size looks much better now. You can also add padding here. So uncheck all sides equal, maybe put like 20. I don't want it too close to the top. Let's say 25 or 30. Okay, 30 seems fine. Let's do the same thing here. 30, good. All right, let's make sure there's some distinction. We can add a little background color and then reduce the opacity. Let's see. Yes, so it's not too white. Good, that's fine. All right, so we're done with this dashboard. Just in case you didn't see how I did this, you can see there's a padding here at the top for the parameter. And yes, that's it. So let's just make sure we check that every single thing is working fine. So we can just maybe change the months, right? Is everything changing? Okay, good. Now we have a white here. Let's come back in and no, nobody can see what's happening here. So I think we can put in the PV as a label also. Yes. So we can just control, just take it out and put it at the side here. Insert PV should work. Good, yes. So you know if it's distribution or utility scale PV. And also that circle is white. So let's come back in. The color should be something like this. I think that's the color we're using. Yes. Okay, now let's see the map. The map. Let's see. Let's just click. There's something wrong here. So you can see our peak hours and our non-peak hour, but we are only seeing non-peak hours. And I think I know what the issue. So you remember this filter. Let's take out this filter and see everything comes back. So because this filter is selected month, selected site, sometimes it's not as accurate as it when a filter has too many things in it and you're using it as a filter. When a field, sorry, has too many things in it and you're using it as a filter, sometimes it might be a bit confusing. So let's just use the normal power. So we can come in here, all values, and we can just say 0.1, right? And we press OK, and this will work because it's the normal value. It's just going to look at it, right? So let's see if we click. Okay, good. If we click, yes, so nothing is being removed, nothing is being added. Okay. All right, that's fine. Now, typically I like to take out these options here because it might just make someone, someone might just zoom in, by mistake, and you don't want, they might not be able to zoom back out. Sorry, let's go back. So let me come to map options while this is selected. I'll come to map options and just uncheck everything. So the person won't be able to, even if I see, I'm trying to shift, go up and go down and nothing is happening. Okay. So let's see. Yes, we're done with this dashboard. We can just make some slight changes to the tooltips. Make sure you add everything you want to add in the tooltip box. But I already have it copied and pasted here. So once I copy, now I'll explain the tooltip for you. Copy this, and I always use Arial 10. So what I want is for this to be underlined at the middle, and what the preview will show you, it's going to show you the location name, site name, the power utilization rate, capacity, and the total output. That's what we need. So you see, everything comes out fine. Okay. And we are done with this dashboard. We can just check this, and yes, we are done. So we can come here. Just in case you didn't see when I was putting this in, this is Poppins. We're using Poppins 11 here and Poppins 22 here. There's a blank here, and this is the parameter. So to input the parameter, you can just click on anything and you see parameters and you can input it. Okay. So now we go on to save. First of all, let's rename the dashboard to solar energy performance dashboard. Right. All right. And then just you always want to make sure you're utilizing making full utilization of this tool and no hanging and anything like that. So you can always come here and hide all the sheets. So every sheet on this dashboard will be hidden. However, you can see that our testing sheet is not hidden. So you can either delete that or you can leave it if you want. And after that is done, you can come in here and click on Save to Tableau Public. So if you're not done at the moment or you want to pause at any time, Tableau automatically saves, but you should always just click on Save so you can save it directly on your system. Okay. While it's loading, I should be logged in. Yes. Okay. So it's preparing view 1 of 2. If not, it will have prepared like 15 views if we left all the tabs open. Let's wait for it to load. And there's something important we need to do. So you remember earlier at the beginning, before we started, we took ideas from quite a lot of people, right? And the one on Tableau that we took from, you're seeing 2 here because I already saved the first one. So you'll see the first one later. But what if you want to give credit to the person you took something from? And you should always give credit to anybody you take something from, especially if it's on Tableau. So what we can come here is come to edit details and you click on inspiration. So now you need to insert the link of the author that inspired this. And one person that we really took from Sebastian. So come in here. Where is it? Let me see. Can't find it here. Okay, let's come to the previous one I saved. Edit, and let's just copy the link from here. So this is the link to the dashboard for Sebastian's dashboard. And once we come in here, press enter, and we save changes. You see details saved. We'll see Sebastian's work. So we can, anybody that views our dashboard could see who inspired it, and it was inspired by Sebastian made his work. And if we're inspired by many works, we could always just put something. Let's go back. We didn't do that yet. We can always just put something like a sheet and just list all the names of the people and put it somewhere around here, inspired by. Good. So I hope you guys have fun recreating this dashboard. One challenge I would say is, rather than using this my color code, if you want to, you can. I want you to explore Tableau Public find the pages of your favorite authors, maybe like Bola, like Kende, like Victory, like Maureen. Find their pages. If there's a vase you like and they use maybe multiple colors, you could then take those their colors, right? And then use it for your own vase. Let's just see how it would look like, right? Always experiment. And I hope that everything you've learned here today is not just for this dashboard. You'll be able to apply it in so many dashboards. Um, I will also take some time to edit my tooltips later and switch off this. So come here, I'll show you something here. In your tooltips, you want to make sure you always switch off this include and allow, just so the person does not mistakenly filter. So you can do that on your own. I've already done that, and you'll see it in the one that is posted. So I wish you all, I want to see your work. If there's any question you want to ask, something you're not clear on, please, I am available on Twitter or LinkedIn. Or send me a message and I will take the time to answer. And I hope to see all your dashboards. I hope you're able to complete this with minimal faults, right? So I will just show you the first one I posted and how it looked like. Let me see. This is the original one when the connection went off. And this is it, right? So you can come in here, maybe click on favorite, add to favorite, so you always see that. So this is it. You can come in here and click on download just to see some of the details I used Tableau workbook. And that is all. Thank you all so much for listening to this, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you guys later. Okay.